All right, let's dive right in. If you've ever felt completely overwhelmed by the world of marketing technology, trust me, you are not alone. Today, we're going to cut through the noise and build a clear map for navigating the complex and, let's be honest, often confusing world of MarTech. So how do we start? Well, let's kick things off with a single, pretty mind-blowing number.
14,000. That's right. As of 2024, there are over 14,000 different MarTech tools and solutions out there for marketers to choose from. It's like being a kid in a giant candy store, but with so many options, it's really, really easy to get a digital stomachache. And to put that growth into perspective, just look at this. Back in 2011, the MarTech landscape was kind of like a small, manageable town with maybe 150 tools. You could probably get to know all of them. But today, it's a massive, sprawling global metropolis of over 14,000. This insane explosion is exactly why making the right choice has become so incredibly important and, so difficult. And here's the real kicker, the direct result of having all that choice. On average, marketers are only using about a third of their MarTech's capabilities. Think about that. That means 2/3 of the potential, 2/3 of the money you're spending is just wasted. It's not just inefficient, it's a huge drain on your budget, your team's precious time, and your company's growth.
So yeah, it's no surprise that a lot of us feel like we're just stuck in a maze. We know there's a better way to do things, but every corner we turn, there's another shiny new tool or another dead end. But here's the good news. There is a way out.
And that way out? It's having a plan, a structured process. We're going to walk through a 12-point checklist that's going to act like your compass in this maze. It's designed to help you evaluate and pick the technology that will actually make a difference for your business.
Okay, so you've got this massive landscape in front of you. Where in the world do you even begin? Honestly, the best way to think about it is like this. Choosing a new piece of marketing tech is a lot like hiring a new person for your team. You wouldn't just hire the first candidate who walks through the door, right? Of course not. You check their skills, see if they're a good culture fit, and most importantly, figure out if they can actually help you hit your goals. So the first part of our checklist is all about the strategic fits. This is the big picture stuff. You have to ask, does this tool directly help us achieve our main business goals? Can it scale up as our company grows, or are we going to outgrow it in a year? Will it genuinely make our customers' lives better? And this one's a biggie. Will it keep our customer data safe and compliant with laws like GDPR? If the answer to any of these is a no, well, it's probably not the right hire. Next up, let's talk about technical fit. Because let's face it, no tool works in a vacuum. It has to play nice with others. So you've got to ask, will it integrate smoothly with the systems we already have, like our CRM or our website? Can it help us deliver a consistent message across social, email, and everywhere else? Does it have smart automation or AI features that'll save our team time? And can we actually test and optimize our campaigns with it? If the technical fit isn't there, you're just creating data silos and more manual work, the exact things you were trying to get away from. And finally, we get to the user and vendor fit. This is all about the people and the money. I mean, a tool can have all the bells and whistles in the world, but if your team finds it too complicated to actually use, it becomes expensive shelfware. Software that just sits on a digital shelf collecting dust. Does it give you clear reports that you can actually act on? Is the vendor going to be there for you when things go wrong? And of course, the bottom line. Does the cost make sense for the return you expect to get? A tool only really becomes an asset when your team loves it and it pays for itself. Now, this 12-point checklist is your guide, but it is not a one-size-fits-all magic wand. The absolute best tool for one company could be a total disaster for another. I mean, you wouldn't use the exact same training plan for a tiny chihuahua and a giant sheepdog, would you? Context is absolutely everything. Let's look at a quick example. A B2B company is all about nurturing leads through a really long sales cycle, right? So tools like Salesforce or HubSpot are a perfect fit. But an e-commerce brand, they live and die by super fast personalization and retargeting, which is where tools like Shopify and Klaviyo shine. It's the same checklist, but you get totally different answers depending on your needs. And this is true across every industry. A media company is obsessed with SEO and growing their audience, so they're going to lean hard on tools like SEMrush. A nonprofit, on the other hand, needs to squeeze every bit of value out of every dollar to engage donors, so they might look at something like Salesforce for nonprofits. Your goals completely dictate the tech you choose. So what happens when a company gets this right? Well, take a look at legal in general. They focused on one key item from our checklist: integration. By connecting all their data in real time, they could instantly react to what their customers were doing. And the result? A whopping 54% increase in conversions on one of their campaigns. That's the real power of choosing tech to solve a specific strategic problem. Or how about Tesco? They built their entire strategy around their loyalty and data program. And get this, for every £1 they invested in their club card program, they saw a profit return of £3.38. This wasn't just about buying a fancy new tool. It was a deliberate strategy centered on unifying customer data to drive an incredible ROI. Okay, so we've seen the problem, that MarTech maze, and we've got the checklist to guide us through it. Now, let's put it all together and map out a clear, actionable path to success. Here is a proven 4-step process inspired by how some of the smartest companies in the world do this. And I want you to pay really close attention to the order here. You start with people, getting your stakeholders in a room to define what you actually need. You get buy-in from all the different teams. And then, and only then, as the very last step, do you select the tool. Strategy always comes before software. If you only remember one thing from this, let it be this analogy right here. You have to draw up the architectural plans before you start picking out the bricks. Choosing a tool without a clear strategy is like just buying a pile of bricks and hoping they magically assemble themselves into a house. It's never going to work. And remember, drawing up those plans is a team sport. It is not a one-person job. Your marketing team knows the customer, sure, but IT knows the integration nightmares you could run into. Sales knows exactly what they need in a qualified lead. And your data security folks know the compliance risks. Getting all of these people around the table from the very beginning is how you avoid huge problems down the road. And, more importantly, it's how you make sure the tool you pick actually gets used by everyone. So, I'll leave you with this question to really think about. Take a hard look at your own company's tech stack. Is every single tool a valuable contributing member of your team? A real key player that's helping you win? Or are some of them just expensive ornaments, sitting on a shelf and gathering digital dust? The choice and the process to get it right is all yours.